What's going on, folks? This is Cam Hilliard from Miller's RV in Baton Rouge, and today I want to show you the Winnebago Travato 59G. All right, so before we get started, little warning for you, 59G, G is the floor plan. Does not mean 59 grand for any current pricing and availability. Check the link below to our website. We have all our current prices, so that's the way to look. I don't control the name, but I understand the frustration and the confusion, but I just want to say that up front. Now, if you find this video useful, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and make sure to turn on post notifications so you can get an update every time we post something really cool like this, and you're gonna like the next one too. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, guys, so you might have seen our video on the Winnebago Travato 59K. I think that was a 2023 or 22 maybe that we did. This is a 2024. This is the G model, so this is the sister model. If you look online, you might see 4 floor plans of Travatos. It's really 2 layouts and then 2 different variants. So you see a 59KL, a 59K, a G, and a GL. The L just means lithium at the end. This is just a regular G with the generator, but just wanted to touch on that before. So you've probably seen the new styling of the ProMaster chassis. On the early 23s and 2022s, you didn't have this, but this is gonna be all redesigned in the front. It's gonna look a lot more automotive. I think it just looks a little bit more aggressive. Now, yes, it did come with a bit of a price increase, but I think it looks really, really good. It doesn't look just like a plain delivery van. So I like that a lot. You'll also notice that now you have solid wheels from Ram, where you used to have hubcaps, and the hubcaps, one, they look terrible. On some of the nicer trims, you would have real metal wheels, but they look like a delivery van. Like, this actually looks automotive. This, you're not just gonna be, putt-putting around in it. It's actually gonna look really, really good. So that's a plus. I wanna take you down the side and show you the step on this. I love the entry step that they do on the Travatos. It's sturdy, it's solid, and it's got a couple hidden features there that I think you're gonna enjoy. So down the side of the van, I talked about the step right here. I absolutely love this step. I like the way it looks. I like that Winnebago has the flying W's all along the running board, kind of like grip tape. It's also, it is absolutely sturdy, man. But the bonus features, so on either side of the step, you're gonna have these 2 little metal clips here. Those are made so you can attach pet leashes. I say this before, but you don't wanna leave it on like family vacation. You absolutely don't wanna leave your dog on it. But it's great whenever you're out underneath the awning. Now, you see, guys, this is a huge awning. You have the arms enclosed under here, so you don't have like the swing down arms that strap into the side of the body like you used to have on some of the older vans. LED lights on the end of this really just add a vibe. Underneath, it's hard to tell during the day, but you do have an LED light underneath the step that, again, kind of just lights the way and kind of just makes it a vibe out here whenever the sun goes down. So the van door, I talk about this upgrade sometimes really with any of the vans, because you can do it on the Sprinter chassis or you can do it on the ProMaster. I'm sure you can do it on the Transit as well. But it's basically a little knob that goes and will stop this door. You can really place it wherever you want. Typically people will place it to where they only have to open the door enough to get in, and then it holds the door in place. Now right now I'm sitting pretty level, so the door's gonna stay. But if you buy this attachment, I can't remember the name. If you know, put in the comments so everyone else can see. But it locks the door in place right here, and then if you want to, you can open it more. But it makes it where it's really easy to get in and out of. So I'm gonna flip the camera around so you can see these little black boxes here. You might be wondering what those are. Let's jump around that so you can see. All right, guys, so moving on down, I want to hear in the comments what you think about this color. I think it's called Spitfire Orange. I know some of you are gonna hate it, some of you are gonna like it. I think it's really fun. It's just kind of like a different spin. It's not the same run-of-the-mill type of van color that you see everywhere else. So I like it. I also like the pattern, like the kind of like, I don't really know what you call it, geometric shapes here. I think they look pretty cool. But I want to talk about these black boxes. So with the Ram ProMaster, you're not gonna get at least with the Travato, you're not gonna get a spare tire. I can't speak as far as the other brands. You're not gonna get a spare tire that comes with the Travato. So instead, you get basically like a fix-a-flat kit. I've done a video on this before to kind of show you how it's operated, but it's gonna work where it's got a built-in air compressor and it's got a built-in fix-a-flat, so it's gonna pump it full of that, expanding liquid. And at least will get you to a safe destination as long as the tire is not completely shredded. But my point in saying that is that's a 12-volt operation. So you've actually got 12-volt plugs here. So you can use that little fix-a-flat kit, electric fix-a-flat kit on this side. Also, there's a cable output here, so you can hook your TV to it. If you have a 12-volt TV, you can hook the TV to that. And then to the right, you're gonna have a spot for external solar hookups. Because you do have solar on top. I wanna say it's 210 watts. Actually, I'm sorry, it was 190 watts of solar up top already. So if you wanted to add extra, you could with that solar package. So we're gonna swing around the curb side, the driver's side now, and just show you a couple things about that before we jump inside so you can see the inside of this 59G. All right guys, so before we jump to the driver's side, curb side, I do wanna mention two options here. So you do have the, and these are gonna be options on the 59G and the 59K. The roof rack and the ladder, to my knowledge, those are like kind of come together. And then you've got the bike rack here. So little disclaimer for the roof, for the ladder, you want to use it when you hook it to the side of the roof rack. You actually don't want to get up and down while it's on here. You can dent the back of this door. That's a good thing to know when you're looking on the lot. If you want to look like a pro, unhook, unscrew that, take the ladder and hook it on the side. Now for the bike rack, you can carry two full-size bikes here. So not e-bikes, it's not weighted for that rate. I'm sorry, not rated for that weight, but you can carry two full-size bikes. So what you'll do, you fold that down, loosen these two knobs, or I guess just one knob depending on if you have one or two bikes. And then you're gonna set the bikes here, you can strap the tires in. Super easy, and then this will hold the actual frame of the bike. So that's really nice and easy. The bike rack is optional, as I mentioned. Now something that you can do, which they have this on the Travato's Owners and Wannabes Facebook group page. I don't know the guy's name who sells it. There's a guy in there who sells a basically an attachment onto these two bars, or onto these 4 posts here, where you can put a spare tire. So if you actually wanted to have a spare tire on this van, you can do that. You can do it a bunch of different ways. You can hook it to the hinges of the doors, or you can put it into that bike rack. So totally up to you, or if you don't want a spare tire at all, you can go that route as well. Yeah, and actually just a correction too, so it's not 190 watts solar, it's 215, so a little bit extra there for you. Let's swing around the driver's side before we head inside. All right guys, so down the driver's side now, there's a lot to look at here. To answer the quick question of does this have a mounted black tank or cassette tank, or a cassette toilet, this does have a mounted black tank. So your two drains for that, your drainage side, you're gonna have your gray drain and your black drain. As I mentioned before, this is just the regular G, not the lithium version. So you do have your generator, and that's gonna be your generator exhaust there. It's a 2800i Onan quiet generator. One of the only generators you can run during quiet hours at National Park. I always like to tell my customers, it's so quiet, it's almost funny. Like it just sounds like a little put, 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 put. But it's really convenient whenever you're actually using it, so you don't have to scream over everyone. I don't know if you noticed when we were on the other side, but this does have the dual pane acrylic windows. That's an option. It's one that, I kind of tell people, my opinion on it, it's great to have. It's not something that's an absolute must have for me, but a cool way to feel it if you're ever in like a hot climate. For a non-dual pane window, you can put your hand up against it and you can feel a good bit of heat coming through. For a dual pane, you might feel a little bit, but it feels a lot cooler. So my point in saying that is it helps the van stay cooler. Now with a van this size, it cools pretty darn quick. So that's like I said, just lanyard. You don't have to have it, but if you want it, it's always a plus. So underneath here, I absolutely love having this. That's a built-in hose storage for your sewage hose, so you don't have to worry about putting it inside, getting that nasty stuff. You can just wash it out and stuff it right in there. To the left of that, you're gonna have your propane fill. So it is a mounted propane tank. All you have to do for that, go to your regular hardware store, U-Haul, and they can fill it for you. Above that, you're gonna have your exhaust for your Truma system. To the left, you will have your 30 amp outlet there. And then up at the very front, very similar to the step that you had on the passenger side, you're gonna have a very small step here, but it's very sturdy and it's got the 2 dog leash tethers as well. So that's a big plus. Down the side of this, again guys, this color is a lot of fun. I really, really like it. But let's go jump inside and let's check out this 59G. All right guys, so we're in the 59G now. If you haven't seen any floor plans on this, or if you haven't seen our other 59K video, you're gonna have to check that out. But remember the 59K, so you've got twin beds and then a rear bathroom. So I'm gonna talk about the G, but I'm also gonna talk about some comparisons with the K so you can, obviously you can see the difference, but just some things to consider. It doesn't matter what you buy, whether it's 40 feet or 20 feet. If you're comparing two things, there's always some stuff you're gonna have to drop to get what you want. You can't always, for the most part, check every single box you want. So we're gonna consider some things like that. So we came in, this is our sliding door to the right. To the left, you're gonna have your 2 passenger seats here, 2 additional passenger seats here. Both of them will have 3-point harness, which is a plus. You do have a, I don't see it, but I do believe you have a car seat tether. Underneath, so this is one that sometimes people are like, oh, why don't you have more storage under there? You have only a small bit here because your Truma system is below that. And you do have the Truma Combi on this. But yeah, so your Truma system is actually underneath that, so I don't get much storage, but that's still better than nothing. That's a nice little nook to put some goodies. So you also will have your lagoon table here. So the lagoon tables are great. The good thing about them, there's a lot of versatility. Sometimes what I find is there's trouble to store them, so you got to kind of figure out a way. So beneath the, I actually prefer this over the 59K floor plan, because the 59K you can either store the lagoon table behind your passenger seat, or you can store it on a little there's a plate that it mounts on right here. With the G, I like the fact that behind the seats here you have open space, so I would store this, and you might want to put like some kind of strap or something to keep it from sliding, because that's not there already, but you can store the table and the leg behind, so you're not taking up any valuable storage, like, because I find a lot of times on the 59K, I find myself putting the table in my pizza oven storage here, which that's valuable storage. I don't like to have to use that storage for the table. But yeah, with the lagoon table, if you haven't seen these before, they're great. You can move them all around. You can even put it on this side and make it extra countertop space. You can lower it, you can raise it. It's just very usable. So on the ground, you're gonna have kind of like a little safe area. So it's got a locked compartment where you can put valuables. That's the main reason for the lock. If you're not gonna put anything valuable in there, obviously you don't have to lock it, but you can just store a bunch of goodies in there. I mentioned you have your dual pane acrylic windows. So the cool thing about that, the shades that come with the dual pane acrylic are fantastic. So you're gonna have a bug screen up top, and then down below you're gonna have your blackout shade. So that's why I kind of have them here so you can see both. And then the windows on the dual pane acrylic do open out, kind of like a food truck style window. So you get a lot of cross breeze with that. The only window on here that doesn't open like that is gonna be your window in the kitchen, which I'll show you that in a second. But that one can't open just because of the sliding door. We'll get to that in a moment. You have your TV here. One of my favorite things about this TV is that since it is on a swivel mount, you can actually release this and watch it from the bed, which is great. Or you can watch it from outside. Outside, the viewing angle might not be the best. You could do it if you wanted, but really it's great. So then you can watch this from the bed. And then to put it back up, nice and easy. You're gonna have storage above here. So these are our manuals here. And then you do have a roof access port. So it's pre-drilled, where if you wanna add like Starlink or any type of, roof accessory, like a cell booster or something like that, it's already got the access port drilled for you. So I like that as well. I wanna flip you around so you can see all your control panels here. What I love about the Travatos, both the 59G and the 59K, is that for the large part, everything that you need to control, aside from a couple things, is in one place. So it's really, really easy. It's all done very, very simply as well. So yeah, I wanna show you guys that and point out a couple different features that you have. All right, so to the right, you're gonna have pretty much all your controls here. We'll start from left to right. So this is gonna be like a little LED strip that's underneath, and you might have seen the lighting change. Whenever I did that, you can go more dim or you can go brighter. To the right of that, you're gonna have your power control system. I absolutely love to have this. It takes the guesswork out of, when you're hooked to 110, or if you're hooked, let's say like you go stay at someone's house and they don't have full hookups and you don't feel like running the generator because you don't want to bother them. Well, instead of worrying about, oh man, can I run this without tripping the breaker, all that, this handles the guesswork for you, or takes the guesswork out of it, handles all that. So whenever you have a service, you can scroll through. Right now, I don't have the generator running and we're not plugged in for once, even though it's September, it's actually a pretty pleasant day today. But you can scroll through this and you can do, oops, I'm clicking the wrong button. You can do your water heater and it's powered, air condition powered, and then it tells you the current amp draw. So the reason for that is if you're not plugged into full power, instead of tripping breakers, it will shed loads for you. So like, let's say if you're into 110, you have the air condition on, and then you turn on the microwave. Well, instead of tripping a breaker, it's gonna shed the air condition, do what you need to do in the microwave, heat your ramen noodles, and then whenever the microwave finishes, air conditioning is gonna come back on. No breakers tripped, no freak out, what I do, it does it for you. It's fantastic. To the right of that, the name of this panel says it for itself, one place. So you've got a lot more stuff just here in one place. So you're gonna have your generator operation. You can start, stop, check your meter, check how many hours are on it. You're gonna have a water pump control here. What I like about the Travatos, and Winnebago does a really good job of this across the board on a lot of their products, they put multiple water pump switches. So I can turn the water pump on here, but hey, let's say I get back here and I'm doing dishes, and it's a small van, it's not that big of a deal, but instead of having to, oops, gotta get that, I can just hit my water pump switch there. Or if I'm, in the bathroom, I can just reach out, boom, hit that. And then you're gonna have another one in the rear too. So they've got them all over the place, so it makes it where if you forget, you're not running around the van like a crazy person having to turn things on. You're also gonna have your tank levels. So this will show you your freshwater tank, your propane tank level, your gray tank, and your black tank levels as well. And you've also got your battery levels, and it does both chassis and house batteries. To the right of that, you're gonna have your Truma Eco, or your Truma Combi. So on the Travato model, so if you watched our Solus video, the Solus is a little bit different. The Solus will only allow you to operate this system off of propane. The Travato will actually do it off of propane or electric. Which is absolutely fantastic. I did a tutorial on this. We'll link that. If you watch the tutorial, there was one point where I was misinformed. I said that you have a 110 heating element and a 12 volt. That's actually incorrect. You have just two electric heating elements. So whenever you go through this settings, it'll show you electric 1, electric 2, and that just means either 1 electric is on or 2 electric heating elements on. So that's neither here or there. We'll link that video for you guys to check out. Really good video. Below that, this is basically just a temperature sensor for the Truma. So whenever you set your furnace, if you want it to be 70 degrees in here, that's how it knows what the current temperature is. To the right of that, you're gonna have a 1000 watt inverter here. This is great for the microwave. If you wanna use microwave or TV or charge your laptop without having to run the generator, you just hold that, turn that button on, and there you go. Now, pro tip for you, a lot of people who do use this, typically I advise you like, hey, no, only have the inverter on when you're using it. You don't want to leave the inverter on all the time because it will zap your batteries pretty quick if you're out boondocking. To the right of that, you're going to have your propane valve. So it's a very safe system. You have a propane shutoff valve on the outside of the coach. You also have one outside by the fill, and you also have one right here so you can toggle your propane off and on. To the right of that, you will have your tank heaters. So you're gonna have 12 volt tank heaters on all your tanks to keep you from freezing up if you're camping in really cold conditions. Now I forgot to mention this outside. I'll have to show you guys this in a bit. We showed you this, I think, on our Solus Pocket video, but the screen door that you have on the Travato is fantastic. You just drop it down with the clips here, and then you've got the little magnetic opening latch, so it opens and closes just when you push out. Super convenient. Another window on the door is going to be, again, dual pane acrylic. They open out just like a food truck, and I can kind of show you a little bit better on this one. So it opens up just like that. Oop. Sorry, you'll hear a little click when it stops. There we go. So then whenever you want to release it, just come back, and there you go. So I mean, you could serve tacos out of this if you want. I think it's great for cross ventilation, but that's totally up to you. So I'm gonna move a little bit further back now so I can show you the kitchen area on this. But before I do that, I do want to point out that you have added countertop space here. These are solid surface countertops. They're beautiful. Also, you can just feel the weight of them. This is great quality material here. When that comes down, it can handle some weight. Sometimes with these extended countertops, they're great, the idea of them, but the execution is not done very well. This is done really well. You have a sink cover too, to kind of give you extra countertop space. But let's move back so you can see this, and then we'll jump into the bedroom area. All right, guys, so we scooted back a little bit. I do want to point out, I don't think I said it when we were outside, but you do have some switches right by the door down low. You're gonna have your battery disconnect, your awning controls, and I mentioned that LED that you have underneath the step. That control is gonna be under there, and I wanna say your awning light, and then your porch light as well. I think I hit them all. I might have missed one or two. But yeah, you've got some switches down low there. So right now we're in the galley area. I actually really like this. So before I jump into what this has on this side, I'm gonna jump into this side and then just some comparisons to the 59K model. So with your 59K, you don't have the two seats like this. You just have your driver and passenger seats. Now you can sit in the twin beds. You can sit on the twin beds in the 59K, but you don't have anything but waist belts on that. With this, you do have the 3-point belt, so that's gonna be a difference. And then probably one of the bigger differences from the K to the G is going to be the refrigerator. So on the K, if you remember, you're gonna have a refrigerator down low that's basically, it's probably a little bit shorter than this, and then you just have a small freezer unit, which a lot of people get by with, a lot of people don't mind. But if you want a bigger freezer unit, the G could be a better option for you because you have a big freezer down low, And then again, just fridge to fridge comparison, the fridge itself is actually bigger. Above that, you're gonna have microwave here. This one is not convection. I feel like I've seen some of the Travatos with a convection. I could be mistaken on that. If not, we can change that really, really easily. To the right of that, you're gonna have storage here. Now, what I love about this storage is up the very top shelf is gonna be mounted. So you're not really going to, you don't move that. But below that, you're gonna have a little rod where you can hang stuff, and you have, if you guys seen any of our other videos, especially the one of the 29V, I think or 24V view, we talked about this, but you can remove the actual drawers, or the shelves rather, so that you can customize this, or you can take them out completely, so then you can turn this into just pure wardrobe storage. You also have a little mirror here. Hey, how you doing? That's pretty nice. But to the right, you're gonna have your kitchen area here. So I mentioned the extension that you have, and I also mentioned the sink cover. So both of those add good countertop space. As far as the sink goes, good size sink. The sink faucet doesn't have like one of those little pull down heads, but it is a big sink. You're not gonna bust your knuckles when you're washing your hands. You do have underneath, if you ever look for the switches for the two lights that are right as you walk in, it's right here. I always have trouble finding it. I can't tell you why, but I do. Below, you're gonna have drawers. These are just gonna be some of our remotes. Another drawer here, and then this one's gonna be a little bit bigger. On this side, you will have a bigger bigger cabinet here. You could put a small trash can in this. This is also the location for your water filter. So yes, this is filtered water, so you could drink out of it if you want to. A lot of times myself, I'll bring bottled water. You're gonna have two gas burners here. With this, I love that, you know, on the lithium models, you'll have induction cooktops. That's both for the K and the G. I like having the gas just because I'm more familiar with it. If you like induction, let us know in the comments. That's kind of a personal preference thing, I think. But if not, you fold this down and great countertop space. So I mentioned that this is gonna be the one window that doesn't open out, and that's because your sliding door comes. So if Winnebago was to have put the window that opens out like this, how many of you, me included, would probably have opened the door while that window is out and rip it right off? So they avoid your mistake and my mistake, so they just make it where the window slides just like this. And it does have just the blackout shade here. The bug screen is gonna be right here. It's not the whole thing since the whole window doesn't open. You're gonna have some storage here, great for seasoning, great for soap, whatever little goodies you wanna put there. You're gonna have a bunch of switches here, pretty much all for lights. I mentioned the extra water pump switch that's here. 1 10 plugs here and 1 10 plugs here. Now you also have your, I've heard people pronounce it both ways, Eco Hot, Echo Hot, I say Eco Hot. But this is basically where you can preheat the water in the lines, so as you're not using, like what I mean by that is instead of turning it on hot and waiting for the water that comes out the faucet to be hot, with this you're gonna turn this for 60 seconds to preheat. It's gonna pump out the cold water in the lines and make it where as soon as you hit that hot water, it's gonna be hot, obviously as long as the water heater's on. So that's a nice little feature there. I wanna show you guys the bathroom. I'm gonna try to figure out the best way to do this, but behind this is the bathroom. This is a sleek little Back to the Future looking door, and then we'll show you the bedroom as well. All right guys, so like I said, this is your bathroom here. In comparison to the K, so remember K has rear bathroom, this bathroom is a lot bigger, just because I guess the full width might seem bigger, but half of it or a third of it is storage, or like cabinets and drawers. Whereas this is pretty much wide open. You're gonna have the one bit of storage up there and then the bit down here for like soaps and stuff like that. It is technically a wet bath, but what I find is you can actually close off, you see these little snaps here, you can actually seal off the toilet so everything doesn't actually get wet. So it's like kind of like, yeah, it's kind of a wet bath, but not really a wet bath. So I actually really like the bathroom on the G compared to the K. I'm gonna have a heavy duty sprayer here, sprayer nozzle. You've got a mirror in here, sink inside the bathroom as well. Metal sink. The faucet is good too. I don't like busting my knuckles when I wash my hands. This makes it where I can do that with no problem. The toilet is porcelain, so that's a plus. Pretty good room on either side as well. It's kind of hard for me to get in there, and I don't know how well you guys will be able to see it, but good toilet. Yeah, all in all, I really like the bathroom on the 59G. So this is gonna be our bed here, and we'll show you guys this in a second. I think as far as the comfortability of this mattress, super comfortable mattress. This is the Wind Sleep technology on this, so it's a moisture wicking mattress. Very, very comfortable. But whenever it's up like this, you have great storage through. So even though you have a bike rack, let's say if you ordered it or if you bought it without the bike rack and you didn't want to add one, you can always put bikes in through here. Ice chest, kayak, you name it, you can fit it in here. So to the right, you're gonna have two little gear storage areas here, which are great. So you can put, I mean, you can really put whatever you want. Honestly, that's probably great for shoes. I wonder if that's the main purpose of that, for sliding shoes in there. You're gonna have one drawer here, and then below that, there's a little black snap panel. That's all your fuses and breakers beneath that. To my left, you're gonna have storage compartments here. So I like that these are partitioned, so you've got separate space, everything doesn't slide in between. Underneath this, you will have a little magnetic, or I think it magnets up there, maybe not. Oh yeah. So a little magnetic storage up here. You can put your phones, really your devices and stuff like that when you're sleeping, and you just grab it and pull it out and make it nice and easy. Now, a question that I initially had when I saw this, one of my first questions when the bed was down, I was like, where am I gonna put my water? Because I always have a bottle of water next to me when I sleep. And they've answered that question for you right up here. So when you're laying down, it'd be easy to grab. You can put a bottle here, or you can put a CPAP here. There's actually 12-volt hookups. I'm sure there is, yep, 110 hookups here. So CPAP would fit here just fine, right where the head would go. Down to the left, you're gonna have a little bit more storage here. This is typically, we might have moved it to the rear, but yeah, this storage even goes up. So this is actually a pretty good storage compartment. And then to the left of that, you're gonna have a little pull-out drawer that's actually great storage as well. All right, so the bed to the left, when it folds down, it's kind of like a trapezoid shape. I couldn't give you the exact dimensions of it. I don't think they're on here. But it's, like I said, the mattress itself is really comfortable. The shape of the bed can kind of take some getting used to, but it is very, very comfortable. When you fold it down, this little leg here, that's your step. One thing that we always see is if you fold this out first, whenever you close it, you're gonna hit that cabinet door and take a little chunk out of that. So as it's coming down, once you clear that cabinet door, then you can open it with no problems. Now you might be wondering as well, what are these two black rods? If you've seen any of our Solus videos or other Travato videos, you'll recognize them. These are the two rods that go in between the back doors to make it where you can have an outdoor shower. Great storage here. They don't make any noise really when you're going down the road. You can probably use them as like a clothes drying rack as well out back, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, all in all, I really like that. So we're gonna swing back to the front so you can see the automotive style that they've gone with in the newer chassis. You've probably seen it before, but I still think it's worth showing you. All right, guys, so we're in the front now. You can see the new restyling of the Dodge. Again, this has been out for around a year or so. But if you've only ever seen the older styling, it just looks like a delivery van. This actually looks a lot better. So you do have built-in nav. You do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all that good jazz. And then really what's gonna be more comfortable in this is just the whole steering wheel. The suspension has been upgraded on this since the older chassis, so it rides a lot smoother, it turns a lot better. All in all, it just feels really, really nice. And then one of my favorite things on it, this is kind of like the unsung hero, is the digital rearview mirror, because you can't really see, if this is like a normal rearview mirror, you can't really see much out of the back, even if those two zippers were open. But with this, you can see everything behind you. You can even see, you know, three, almost 4 lanes of traffic behind you at all times. So it's really, really convenient. Now, no, it doesn't point directly down. So because of that, you still have a backup camera in this whenever you go into reverse. We can see a little bit more detailed where you're backing up. Wireless charger here. Air controls and stuff like that, all that's pretty basic. But you can see too, we've got these tilted. Both of these seats do tilt as well. Yeah, and then a small detail for me, I always really enjoy this, is the fact, I tell you the truth, I can't remember if the older chassis had it, but not only are your top mirrors electric, your bottom mirrors are electric too, so you don't have to get out and adjust the bottom mirrors. You also do have blind spot monitoring, the little triangles that are in the mirrors, and then you also are able to fold the mirrors in with the push of a button. So a lot of just really cool, convenient features that make this a lot easier whenever you are camping or parking it, since you can fit this in a regular parking space, just makes it a lot easier. All in all, I really like the 59G floor plan. There are some things that are better than the 59K. There are some things I don't think are as good as the 59K, so it's kind of up for you to decide what's important to you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. We appreciate you stopping by, and as always, enjoy the journey.